I keep my thoughts clear. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 365 Science of Mind. Today is February 27th, day number 58 of this wonderful, wonderful journey of 365 days of Science of Mind lessons. Today's lesson is I keep my thoughts clear. And the quote that I found for today is from Ryoko Spencer, and it reads, "Make your thoughts clear. The seeds of trouble hide in ambiguity." And let's go ahead and jump right on into the text for today. It reads, "We are surrounded by a receptive and creative medium that receives our thought and acts upon it." Yes, there is nothing harder than keeping the thought straight, and nothing else so desirable. It is not easy in our contacts with the daily world to keep our thoughts so clear that we never become unpoised and that we never accept anything we do not wish to accept, and that we always control the intellect so the emotions do not respond unless the intellect says to respond. That's a mouthful, but I'll come back to it in a moment. But whenever we can do this, our destiny will be in our own hands, backed by an immutable power. But before we do this, we must relate and harmonize ourselves with the infinite. We oppose it when we admit that anything opposes us. We deny it when we admit that a good is denied to us. When we find ourselves in discordant conditions, we should never say, "Oh, what's the use?" Rather, we should say, "There is something in me that is greater than this condition, and it can dissolve it." We have the privilege and power to do this. And if we use this ability properly, it will produce wondrous results. Remember that the cause of everything is an idea, and that the thought is the mold in which our tangible experience is cast. What a powerful, powerful lesson. I'm going to keep this as concise as possible, but I could talk about this lesson for hours. Starting with the very sentence, we are surrounded by a receptive and creative medium that receives our thoughts and acts upon it. Just think about that for a moment. Just think about the idea that when we think something, it immediately begins to manifest. Immediately, no matter what the thought is, it immediately begins to manifest. Does it manifest immediately? Does it become material immediately? No, not so much. Now, there are people who have been said to manifest things immediately. I know I don't have that ability. But here's the, as we say, double-edged sword of that. Sometimes we wish we could manifest things more immediately. You know, if we're lonely, I want to manifest that mate. If we're overweight, I want to manifest the body I want. If we're financially struggling, I want to manifest more money. If we are not in the homes we want, I want to manifest whatever. And we want those things to manifest immediately. Well, we really don't. We really don't. One reason, because if things manifested immediately, as this passage says here, there is nothing harder than keeping the thought straight. All types of thoughts pop through our minds. Thank goodness those things don't manifest immediately. Thank goodness they don't. That would be a travesty. But when we do keep our minds focused on the things that we do desire, we do attract that in which we are focused on. Everything started with a thought. The cause of everything is an idea, and that the thought is the mold in which our tangible experience is cast. Everything in our existence began with thought. Everything, 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 every single thing began with thought. And through words, actions, alignment, beliefs, etc., those things eventually became a reality. But let me read this to you here. It is not easy in our contacts with the daily world to keep our thoughts so clear that we never become unpoised. Stuff happens, is what this is saying. Stuff happens. Not randomly, chaotically, not that, but things do happen, and those things can cause us to get off track. What happens when we do that? We say, there is something in me that is greater than this condition and can dissolve it. Whatever that is. It can dissolve it, it can transcend it, it can elevate above it, it can do whatever. Because there is something greater in you that is God. That is love, that is the universe, that is the one infinite mind that has the solution to every problem. Every problem. Everything you encounter. Any situation you run into. Knowing and believing that there's an infinite power back of you that will guide you and propel you through whatever situation you encounter. When we, and this is a conversation I have with my children all the time, is that we use our intellect to control our emotions. We use our intellect to control our emotions, not the opposite way around. Not the opposite way around. Because I'll read the text. It says, we always control the intellect so that the emotions do not respond unless the intellect says to respond. Whenever we can do this, our destiny will be in our own hands, backed by an immutable power. Yep. That is such a powerful statement. Our destiny will be in our own hands when we can use our we can use our intellect to guide our emotions. I had a conversation with my daughter, and I had her doing some writing exercises for the sole purpose of helping to improve her spelling. And when she spoke with her mom, she said, "I'm being punished for no reason." So her mom says to me, "Why are you punishing Aria for no reason?" she says. I said, "Well, I don't have any idea what Aria is talking about as far as any punishment is concerned, because she's done nothing to be punished about." And she said, "No, she insists that she's being punished. She thinks she's being punished." And I said, "Well, Aria, why do you think you're being punished?" "Well, because I'm having to do these writing exercises." I said, "Well, why is that a punishment?" "Well, because you had me do these before when I was in trouble, so I just figured that I was in trouble." I said, "Okay, so here's the deal. These are writing exercises to help your spelling. Do you feel that's a punishment?" "Well, no." I said, "Great, because it's not. Improving your spelling is never a bad thing. Now, you're not in trouble. You're not in punishment." And she says, "Okay." I said, "Well, how do you feel?" She says the same. I said, "Why do you feel the same? If before you thought you're in punishment, you were sad about that, now you know that you're not in punishment, why aren't you sad? Why are you still sad?" She says, "I don't know." I said, "Well, who has control of that?" She says, "I do." I said, "Okay, can you choose something different right now?" Because if you're telling me that you were sad because you thought you were in trouble, and I've told you you're not in trouble, and you're still sad, what does that mean? I'm choosing to be sad for nothing. I said, "Great." Now, do you want to choose to be sad for nothing? No, we don't. So let's not choose to be sad for nothing. That's an intellectual choice, to control the emotions so that we can take charge and control of our lives and our destinies. So the practical application here is raise your emotional state to an intellectual state, to see what the situation is for what it is, and you can move in whatever space you need to accordingly, not just based on perception, not based on assumption, but based on reality. And you can choose how you want to feel. Now, if you want to choose to be mad, fine. I don't know why you would, but if you want to choose to be mad, choose to be mad, because then now it's your choice. Not so-and-so made me mad. No one made you mad. So-and-so said something, you interpreted it in a certain way, you received it in a certain way, and you're choosing to allow it to anger you. If you're going to do that, just do it actively. Just actively do it. To say, you know what you said was whatever it was, but I'm choosing to feel the way that I'm choosing to feel about it. Because when you say someone made you mad, guess what you're doing? You're giving up your power. You're giving up your power and handing it over to someone. Here you go. You make me mad. Here's my power. Take that power back. Choose in the moment. And if you want to choose to be mad, but let it be your choice. So let's go ahead and move into our meditation and affirmation for today. I am going to read this in first person, and I invite you to receive it as your own growth, your own enlightenment, and take whatever you feel you can use from this into your spirit and into your growth process. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And we're going to just release that. I have the power. I have the power. I have the power to live the life of good. My thought reflects the good that I desire. I am conscious of the focus of my thinking, and my own is manifesting itself into me now. There is nothing in me that can hinder it from entering and taking possession of my soul. My own is now expressed. And so it is. Thanks for joining me on another episode, guys, of 365 Science of Mind. As always, feel free to like, comment, and share. And until tomorrow, namaste. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow's episode.